I don't need to move.
He's an artist. He's got to go that.
I know, he's got it. I'm trusting him.
Charcoal's on this side of the book. Or you just select one edge, one corner, and then push it down and then. All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. It is a pleasure to see all of you. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of what I experienced this last week. I've been listening to a lot of Professor Thurman's talks this week in preparation for today's sermon. Professor Thurman was a student of the Dalai Lama. He was the first Westerner to become a monk in the Tibetan tradition. He then later left. He's a physics professor, and he is a very, very interesting individual, good friends with Deepak Chopra and the Dalai Lama and all of these people. But I was listening to him and I was thinking about what it means to be a Buddha and what is the purpose of being a Buddha. And as we know from the Lotus Sutra, it says that Buddhas are only concerned with one thing. How do I cause all sentient beings, all thinking and feeling beings to enter into the unsurpassed way quickly? Become Buddhas. What does that exactly does that mean? And in the process of listening to some of his lectures, what really got me was he described what love was in Buddhist terms and what compassion was in Buddhist terms. And it really touched me. Love, in Buddhist terms, is wanting, wishing for the best for your beloved, whoever that may be, whatever that may be. In Buddhism, it's all sentient beings for us. Right? It's wishing the best for them without any expectation of anything in return. So it's that person on the street, maybe they win the lottery, and you feel sympathetic joy for their success. You want them to be the best that they can. You are not thinking about your own. You're only thinking about their growth. You're dedicating all of their merit to them before yourself. Namu. So in essence, what is love in Buddhism is the idea of selflessly loving every being that you meet as a Buddha, as a potential Buddha. And in Buddhism, what is compassion? Compassion is wanting to understand the suffering of all sentient beings, to really truly enter into and appreciate some other being's suffering. We talk a lot about emptiness. In Buddhism. Well, what the heck is that? Does that mean there's no phenomenon? Everything's empty? Might as well just chuck it all out, baby with the bathwater? No. Right? What emptiness means is actually that nothing has its own firm nature in and of itself because it's all goodness. I don't exist without you. Literally. Like, I have no frame of reference for me without you. I have no frame of reference for me without stuff to touch and stand on. What the Buddha was the first scientist. And all he really did was apply his intellect to the idea of space, form, matter, and spirit. And he kept saying, well, if this, then what? And when we break things down, there is no solid core to hold on to except compassion. The wanting of all sentient beings to reach their infinite potential because you're one of them too. We're all connected. And it's when we think that we have this flesh suit that we have to protect against everybody else that we start to create suffering for ourselves. Once I have something to protect and defend, well, now I have enemies to defend it from. But there isn't anyone that exists. I don't exist. I am part of a complex tapestry of people and things and events and societies. I'm the result of a lot of causes and conditions. That if any of them were different, I would be different. But to even get caught up in the idea that there's no meaning is losing the point of the picture too. Yes, there is a temporal meaning. It has interactions with Kaishin, Zenshin, everyone in it. But I, as an individual, have nothing to protect because I am no different than you. I am part of you. I am part of the tapestry of the universe just the same as you are. And so when we're here and we're chanting and we're doing this practice, this is to connect with emptiness, which is really connectedness. And so when we're chanting together, we're experiencing love, right? We're experiencing love for each other, sympathetic joy for each other, entering into each other's lives fully and completely, because all we really want for each other is to become Buddhas, to become our highest potential. We chant hoping to see the Buddha in every face that we meet, especially the people that we don't like. One of the things I've really started doing in my own practice is the more someone hurts me, bothers me, angers me, the more I get up and I dedicate my merit to them. Not because they deserve it. They were a-holes. And that's my selfish side. It's going, you don't deserve to have any merit. But I also know that as a Buddha, in my aspirational nature as a future Buddha, that I want them to achieve their highest potential. Even though my limited temporal self can't wrap my brain around my connectedness with them, my bigger Buddha self knows at my core that harboring separation isn't going to get any of us any closer to the goal, which is the enlightenment of everyone. As bodhisattvas, we sacrifice this concept that I'm doing this for myself, right? I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for you, and you, and you, and you, and everyone. That's who I'm doing it for. So that's why it's now effortless for me to keep up with my practice. My practice isn't about me, it's about you. I think of every one of you every day. I dedicate my merit to you every single day. I dedicate my merit to all sentient beings. The reason that we practice every day is to become more and more aligned with the Buddha, with the need to connect with all sentient beings and help them attain the mind. So when we do our chanting meditation in the morning, it's so that we go out and we see the Buddha all day long. When we come home and we do our meditation at night, it's so that we can remember that we saw the Buddha all day long. So practice is what gets us closer and closer to being able to see that in all sentient beings more often. And more times than not, it's the practice that allows us to see it in that sentient being mirror, which is the hardest one to see. It is so much easier some days for me to see the Buddha and James, and Yao, and Zenshin, and Kaishin, and myself. But if I can't see it in myself, then I'll never believe that it's in you. And if I can't see it in you, then I'll never believe it's in myself. So today, let's join together. Let's lose ourselves, our individuality, and let's just become part of the whole of our collective individuality. Lending it to me? Thanks. So Sensei, just full disclosure, Sensei got on me. He said that service is not for me to push myself in my own personal practice. So he told me I have to start using intentional time because he said it made him uncomfortable to see me suffering at times. So he said, don't interfere with people's practice, they'll feel sorry for you. So I'm using a stool now. Right, hi. Dojo kan. Receiving the dojo. Know this place in which we find ourselves now is a dojo, a place of Buddhist training. All Buddhas come to this place and attain perfect enlightenment. All Buddhas come to this place and turn to the wheel of the Dharma. All Buddhas come to this place and enter into Nirvana. Onmon Santi, the three treasures. It is difficult to be born as a human being. I have now realized such a birth. To hear the teaching of the Buddha is difficult. I have now been able to hear it. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Namu Renge Kyo. Please place your hands in Hokai Join. Please sit up straight. Tongue in the roof of your mouth, just behind your top teeth, lower your shoulders back. Allow your spine to hold your weight, not your muscles. Chin tucked in, feel as if your head is lifted by a balloon and your waist is sinking like a boat. Put your mind in the center of your being, about 3 inches below your belly button. Hands in your lap and hold Kai Join. Joshin-gyo. Silent meditation to center and calm the mind and body so that we may chant the old line.
Yin Xing Yo. Guided meditation to feel the sublime Dharma, the old I am to feel the preciousness of life. pause before the last line in order to read our wishes for those in sickness and distress and to remember those in the moment. I respect you deeply. You will all be able to practice the way Bodhisattva Zen become Buddhas. May the merits we have accumulated by this offering be distributed among all living beings, and may I and all other living beings attain the enlightenment of the Buddha. Today we remember all of those in sickness and distress. We remember Issa Simmons and Carmen Laverne, Damien Reddick and Wendy Close, Jason Wellman and Jesse Schaefer, Lotus Mesh and David Mills, Gail Bull, Dave Watson and Beth Watson, Gabe Benitez, Victoria, Jesse Travis Byrne, Scoop, Dawn Robinson, Jamie Logan, Dennis Sullivan, Pat Sullivan, Saskia Eller, Julie Rose, Dahlia Bodwitchy, Eric Lynn Pilsen, Michael Dean Ritchie. We also remember our own William Calhoun, Joel Sheen, who was suffering from stomach difficulties. We also remember any and all of those members of our families, friends, and Sangha who are also in sickness or distress. In memoriam, we remember Maria Valentine, June Mott, Julie Petrikowski, Cheryl Sissy Jones. We remember Stella the dog and Maggie Herman, Ning Chi, as well as Scoop, who passed away recently. Elaine and Joe Winter, Jack Parker, Rick Capeland, the Amir Sensei, Aunt Barbara, Oscar Jordan, Gerald Cushman, Patrick Scanlon, Don Robinson's husband, Mother Coleman, Phyllis Stevens, Robert Rose, and Jared Lovejoy. May they all find peace, and may they all come to the Buddha Dharma. Amen. Thank you all very much. Wow, your chanting was fantastic today. It was really amazing. Sensei, thank you for coming. Very good to see you today. I would like everyone to please thank Sensei for this wonderful painting of his. I'm as enamored with him as a painter as I am a martial artist.
I was wondering who did that.
This is such a treat, Sensei. I am so honored that you would be willing to donate this. It is going to hang right there across from the lotus flower that was also donated to us. It's beautiful. I think it's just absolutely beautiful on touch.
Please enjoy it, and forgive me for the way that I brought it. When I got to my studio, I said, "Bring it over there." I came and I dropped it off, and I'm so forgiven.
No problem. No problem. I mean, I'm just so honored to have a piece of your artwork.
Thank you.
For the temple. And it's
My honor. And I really enjoyed being here. I can tell you that I feel so much more peace since I've been coming, and I sat down with two friends today and invited them. They're artists as well. And,
Wow.
Yeah, this is a blessing for everybody, so thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to share with you all before we kind of split up to have tea and take our pictures, some of the comments that I got from Kaizen Shaman and from his wife, Mamiko-san. You inspired Mamiko's faith more than she had ever known it. She supported Sensei, of course. You know, she's his wife, the mother of his children, his companion. But her faith was not stirred until she saw you. It changed something in her. Sensei noticed it. She took me aside to tell me how lucky we were, how lucky I was to have you children. The thing that she described was the fact that everyone was family. Everyone chipped in. It didn't matter where we came from before we walked in the store. When we were in here, we were family and we depended on each other, and it was beautiful. Sensei's description was, "You have the sweetest sangha ever." And my reaction was, "Do you mean sweet, or do you mean like sweet?" And he said, "Well, I guess I mean both." But they're so kind. They think of others first. They think of each other first. Sensei was so impressed with Kaishin and all of our lay leaders because, and this is a lesson for you all, you're always being tested. Don't ever think that Mamiko-san said, "Oh, why don't you help yourself to food?" And the lay leaders said, no, not until Sensei. So secretly she was like, you guys know exactly what to do, because we always make sure that the Sensei is taken care of first. Not because Sensei is more special than we are, but because it's symbolic of putting others before ourselves. You know, I can't tell you how many times as a shami, my throat's been a little rough after whatever, and I really wanted that tea at the end, and I was like, I gotta serve everybody else first. You know, and that's what we're doing with this practice. Everything that we're doing is reinforcing practice. When I serve to you first, that's reminding me, oh, I'm dedicating my merit to you first. Also needs first. Because I'm one of them, so I get the residual. So, in your chanting, the things that you really want and need, right? You can chant for them. Just think about how it's going to benefit others. James needed a car, right? James can't just chant for a car. That's kind of weird. But if James thought about it, he needs a car so that he can pick up Kishin Chuck for services, so that he can be of more service to his mother, to his friends, to his family. There's so many good things that he could do with that vehicle if he had it. So as long as we put those things forward, how can this be of better benefit to more sentient beings? It's okay to ask for help. Now, is it God helping? I don't know. Is the universe just aligning? I don't know. Is it the secret, you know, from the New Age group? I don't know. But I'll tell you what I do know is that when I have put it out to the universe, to the Buddha, what I needed truly to help all sentient beings, myself included, I found it. You know, it comes to you. Don't stop believing. And all of the times when we fall down or we get screwed up in our life, realize that's our karma. That's our cause and effect. It doesn't mean we're really punished by the universe. Okay? It just means that things happen. And as far as your growth goes, that's one of the things that needed to happen for your growth. I thought for years that I was just getting screwed by life, but I didn't realize that I was being saved for other things. If things had gone differently, I wouldn't be here. I think about, no, it's fun since it was for sure. You know, I had a relationship in Texas for a brief 9 months with someone from my past. Now 5 years ago, and I thought, oh, this must be the person. This is the person I'm supposed to be with. You know, I love her children. I love her family. I've known her since I was 15, and blah blah blah. And then she just out of a sudden, boom, she just cut me off. Done. I was devastated. But now, every day I come here, I realize, oh my gosh, you know, that was so naive of me to be caught up in that one little moment and not realize that I was being saved for other things, bigger things. And maybe she was too. But if I had stayed there in Texas, none of you would be here now. This temple wouldn't exist. Now, maybe Kaishin would have found the Dharma and, opened the temple instead of me, but the way it is right now wouldn't happen. Just for one decision. Not even by me. By somebody else. So, as Buddhists, we don't shake our fist at the heaven and say, why me? We say, why not? So let's clean up and enjoy ourselves. We'll take our picture, and then everyone can hang out or go their separate ways. If anyone's interested, I'm here.
We're supposed to be